What's going on, guys? Sunday, college basketball. Got some decent games today. I'm going to do my very best to get you guys another winner on the whiteboard. Just kind of a fun thing I do every single day, every single video. I put one of the picks that I think is halfway decent up there on the whiteboard. We fell short with Alabama, but out of the last 8, we still have a winning record. So trying to get back on track. Hopefully we can string together a few of those in a row, make you guys a little bit of extra money. So definitely subscribe to my channel, drop a like on the video. I do my very best to try to help you guys out. Hopefully you appreciate that. There's going to be bad days mixed in. There's going to be great days mixed in. It's a long-term process. Don't trip. Don't trip after one day. Before we jump into these Sunday games, I do quickly want to go over all of my Saturday bets. There was 12 of them. So I want to let you know where my head was at, what I bet on, how much money, and how much money came back, just so those of you who aren't members here on the channel kind of know what I'm thinking, kind of know where my head's at right now. I think that's at least of value to kind of let you know what teams I'm liking and kind of what I saw from Saturday, and maybe some notes that I wrote down that maybe you guys should kind of take down yourself moving forward as we get deeper into March. We had another winning day. I mean, winning day, it was neutral. It's like that much of a winning day. Today, I made like some grocery money, maybe a little gas money. Small winning day. It was actually a losing record, but we hit the larger wagers. And then I forgot, because I put out the Saturday video before the Friday game had ended. We only had one pick for members on Friday. That was Loyola Chicago to upset Dayton. They did come through. So we were 1-0 on Friday. We were 5-7 here on Saturday. Yesterday on Saturday, gained a unit on each. Actually, less than a unit on Saturday because of the odds. Some of them were below plus money. We did have a plus money parlay in there. By the time everything kind of works itself out, I mean, I bet $100 a unit, typically, sometimes $250, sometimes $200, but usually my unit, it's $100. I made like $30-40 today. Barely in the green. But nonetheless, 2 days in March, 2 winning days. You can't complain about that. There's a lot of meat left on the bone here in college basketball season. So to get into these picks, and if you want my picks on a daily basis, you can become a member here on the channel. Check it out. I'll leave a little quick walkthrough video pinned at the top of the comment section. If you have a little bit of difficulty on how to find the join button here on the channel, that should help you out. Saturday plays. So what I did, I thought I was done with my bets. I put out a post on the community tab where all my picks go. And I was like, all right, guys, here's the final play, a 2-unit little money line parlay to gain some extra money, which ended up hitting. But then I just idiotically, like, spur of the moment, I'm like, I don't know. Is that enough picks? Like, a lot of people want a lot of picks. It's Saturday. There's so many games. Maybe we'll go small. We'll just put a half of a unit on 4 games. 0 for 4. 0 for 4. Wisconsin on the money line. Lost at home to Illinois. Pathetic effort from them. Colorado State minus 14.5. Won by 8. Couldn't get by a bad Wyoming team. I don't know how that game was competitive. Charlotte minus 3. I'm just done going against that other team, man. I'm not doing it anymore. Charlotte's absolutely horrible. And then Northwestern State plus 3.5 at home. They led the entire game. It came all the way down to the end, and in under 10 seconds of the game, the other team hits a 3-pointer. Game goes into overtime, and they blow the cover in overtime. So spur of the moment, last second choice. I put out 4 more picks that I'm not even confident on. Picks that I thought were worthy of half of the unit, and missed every single one of them. 0-4, absolutely horrible. So that's 2 units down the drain right there. We had 3 plays at 1 unit. We had West Virginia plus 3.5 at home over Texas Tech. They were up 16 points at home, West Virginia, and they completely melted down. This is the same West Virginia team that went on the road against Iowa State and hung in the game and only lost by 7. The same West Virginia team that came all the way back from a 30-point deficit on the road at Kansas State and went to overtime to lose. And now at home, over a banged up, beat up Texas Tech team, you're out to a 16.5-point lead, and you can't even cover 3.5 points? I'm done with West Virginia. I won't bet against them. I won't bet on them. Ban list. Kansas State came through, catching 5.5 points. Thought they would have beat Cincy outright. Didn't quite get there. And then Minnesota -5.5. For those of you who watched that game, disgusting. You give up a shot in the last 5 seconds of the game. Absolute brutal beat on Minnesota. Should have been 3-0. I don't know how the fuck West Virginia collapses like that, and I don't know how Minnesota gives up a shot like that at home. But 1-3 on 1-unit plays. And then the big boys, the big plays of the day. My 2-unit plays came through. 3 out of 4. Baylor -3.5. Washington State -6.5. Our little money line parlay that we put together with 3 teams. And St. Mary's was the one that came up short. I don't believe in this Gonzaga team. I never will. I think they're completely fraudulent. They have a cupcake schedule. I'll never believe in that conference. And this was the chance, man. I'm super disappointed in St. Mary's. Yes, you already won the first game. Why the fuck wouldn't you take advantage of your home court to really try to let Gonzaga know they no longer run the conference? Like, that was a huge opportunity to make a statement. And they looked like a high school team, man. That St. Mary's team, they suck. Bunch of fat, white, slow, pudgy, unathletic losers. Fuck that St. Mary's team. They're going to lose in the first round. They're absolutely on upset alert. So fuck St. Mary's. We lose 2 units on them. Hit the other 3. Overall Saturday, 5-7, and we gain. The way the odds came through, we had a plus money on the parlay. Most of the other, you don't quite get what you risk back. We ended up with like that much of a winning day. I'm just going to call it fucking neutral. Less than a unit gain today. A tiny, tiny winning day for Saturday. Again, 1-0 on Friday with Loyola. So overall, for March so far, a 6-7 record, up about a unit and a quarter. 2 green days, 2 small green days, so little baby green days. I mean, we're not gaining enough ground. Man, that's so frustrating. So many games. Should have just stuck to. I'm so sick to my stomach that I put out those less confident half-unit picks. Because if I just did what I said in that community post saying this is the final play, and we just get rid of those 4 shitty little half-unit picks, that would have been a pretty good day. That would have been a 5-3 day, probably up like 3 units or so. So I feel great. I feel dialed in. I like what I like. Minnesota was a bad beat. West Virginia home court collapse. Can't help it there. And then I forced some extra plays on shitty teams. That was dumb. You take those couple things out of the equation, couple things go the right way, and that would have been a monster Saturday. So I still feel good. I think it's going to be an awesome week. Really looking forward to the rest of March. I feel so great about this. Quick takeaways here from Saturday. Like, what impressed me? Tennessee, the win at Alabama to actually spoil the whiteboard winning pick. Tennessee is the real deal. That's a good team. Purdue is the real deal. That's a good team. Michigan State is a team you guys want to watch for. They're going to be a high seed, man. They're going to be a team that is going to run into one of the higher seeds in the second round. Michigan State, interesting. That is a dangerous team. Whoever gets them, that's a terrible draw. Auburn looks strong today. I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock into the Creighton game because Marquette was without Tyler Kolek and that other player. So I'm not terribly impressed with Creighton. It looked good. It looked like an impressive win at the end, but I don't know about these Big East teams, man. Obviously, UConn, I know about them, and they're solid and they're legit, but these other Big East teams, I don't know. I think Marquette at full strength may actually be the best team in the Big East. It's right there with UConn. Baylor looks strong at home over Kansas. Took them a while to get going. Texas is kind of coming on strong here. Illinois, another good road win. Bad beat to ruin our cover on Minnesota or to ruin our bet with Wisconsin there. But Illinois is interesting. You know, I've been kind of down on them because they don't have a true point guard. Illinois, Auburn, Tennessee, UConn, Marquette. These are the teams I'm kind of liking right now. So you guys can let me know in the comments what teams stand out to you and how your day went. I know a lot of people got murdered today. I know some people had some good luck and, you know, they did good. So let me know in the comments how good of a day you had. Are you going to go ahead and write in the comments below that you hit 90% of your bets and you're the best in the world? Let me know. The other thing, guys, before we dig into these Sunday games, is another platform that I do offer. It's a little bit lower pricing than my YouTube membership. It's SoBet. It's kind of a hybrid social media and professional bettor online platform. It's basically a social media site where me and about 50 other professionals give our picks every single day. I'm much lower volume. Not all my picks go on there, only one a day, but I've hit 3 in a row. And my overall record on SoBet is 26-16. That's a 62% winning rate. Got some NBA mixed in there as well. So check out the SoBet platforms. You sign up, it's $10 a month. The link to sign up is right in the description. And not only will you get my daily best bet, but you will have access to 50 other professionals. See their hot streaks, read their write-ups, get their premium plays, all for $10 a month. So check out SoBet if you're interested in that. Let's get to Sunday, baby. Sunday, March 3rd, man. March is going to fly by. I feel like it's absolutely going to fly by. I hope it doesn't. I'm trying to make everything last here. I'm trying to soak in everything I can college basketball wise. First game of the day on Sunday is Seton Hall and UConn. 14 and a half. 14 and a half. Wow, 14 and a half. I mean, I guess we're kind of at the point of the year where UConn is really maybe trying to go for that number 1 overall seed. I expect them to show up here, but 14 and a half. Seton Hall is decent. They're decent. Much better team at home, but they're decent. 14 and a half. It just feels a bucket or two inflated, man. I feel like this should be like 11 and a half. I'm going to have a slight lean of Seton Hall. All the public, everybody's going to be on UConn. We already know it's a big public play. So that doesn't interest me. Give me Seton Hall in the 14 and a half. That's a death sentence. I'm not betting that game, and I don't suggest you guys do it either. Northern Iowa, Southern Illinois, 2.5 point spread. The road team's the better team, but they're the road team. So this is kind of a wash for me. I slightly lean Northern Iowa getting a bucket and a half. Home court, man, I don't know. Is Southern Illinois going to come through here? I'm going to have the tiniest leans to Northern Iowa getting 2.5. Indiana, Maryland, this is actually a pretty good game, one of the better ones of the day. Not necessarily in terms of betting it, but just the matchup in the game and, you know, something to watch on TV. Indiana, Maryland, 8.5 point spread. Indiana's horrible. I've said it so consistently, but gave out Indiana to upset. They were actually one of our whiteboard winners. What I give out? I gave out Indiana to upset somebody. I can't remember. I'm not going to even waste time looking it up. The point is, Indiana had a god-awful stretch of basketball to get that one win, get the monkey off their back. People can stop, you know, hooting and hollering at them. I think they get blasted here. I think Maryland, a team that's underachieved this year, good defense. They play better at home. Sometimes they get off to sluggish starts like in the first half. But this Indiana offense is horrible. This is a bad matchup for Indiana. Give me Maryland. I'll lay the 8.5. I would love this if it was like a 5.5. I would definitely bet the spread personally if it was like 5.5, 4.5. 8.5 starting to get a little bit rich with a Maryland team that also has underachieved this year. But I'm still going to lean Maryland. 70% of the bets too on Indiana. Public underdog, a bad team, bad offense. Give me Maryland. You could even look at the under in this game. The total set at 135.5. It's almost 70 apiece. That's a bit high. I think this game is, you know, 65 to like 57 type thing. I don't know. Lean under, lean Maryland. Illinois, Chicago, Missouri State. Interesting. The 4.5 is a little scary. I do like Missouri State to win this game and beat Illinois, Chicago. 4.5, you're almost in the danger zone. 4.5, 5.5, 6.5. That is a really weird spot where if the game is competitive, it can go either way at the end. Slight lean to the home team. Illinois State at Valpo, man. Valpo getting 5.5 at home. Man, they stink. Valpo. Can Valpo get up for this game and cover 5.5? I'm going to have a tiny little lean on Valpo here at home. They just have so many losses in a row. They're so bad. Maybe they get up for this one because they have so many in a row. Home team, home game. Give me Valpo plus 5.5. Hate the game. UMKC, Oral Roberts. Again, just like the game we talked about earlier, I think UMKC is a better team than Oral Roberts. But they're only catching 2.5. It's a road game. It's a Sunday game. I'm going to lean the road team here. I'm going to have a slight lean of the road team again, getting 2.5. Hate the bet. East Carolina, North Texas. East Carolina's just fallen off. I'm sorry. The effort that they put up at home over a Memphis team, and I get it. Memphis is playing better. I gave out Memphis over FAU as a premium pick for members. But I was also on East Carolina over Memphis. And East Carolina, man, they really don't impress me. They really rely on home court. I don't like them on the road. North Texas has plenty of offensive power here. So similar to Maryland. Love North Texas to get this win at 8.5. That is a premium price, man. 4.5, 5.5, sure. 8.5. It's enough to keep me away from this game personally, but I'm still going to go with North Texas here as far as a pick goes. North Texas to cover the 8.5. Much better team. Bradley at Drake. Public's all over Drake. We'll see what the line does. I'm seeing a 4.5 right now on FanDuel. You wake up tomorrow and this thing's a 5.5, maybe a 6. Drake's probably the right side. I want to see confirmation, man. If we're going to have 85% of the money on Drake, I want to see the markets move. If all this money keeps pouring in on them and it sits at 4.5, it's going to be a nail biter to cover that spread. Drake's getting the win. Drake's going to beat Bradley today, Sunday. I just don't know about 4.5. I'm still going to lean Drake here. They're a great team. Michigan State, Ohio State, or Michigan, Ohio State. 10.5. 10.5. This feels completely disrespectful. I mean, I get it. Ohio State's been playing much better. Okay. They're playing great. They have talent. It is a home team. It's a rivalry. Michigan, they got decent size. I don't know the injury report of Thornton as well for Ohio State. That's a big one. Boy, gut feeling, just looking at it for the first time and seeing the spread and seeing the teams. I hate to do it, but I'm going to lean Michigan here. And that is a lean because you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot be risking your money on Michigan basketball. If you like Michigan in the game, that means you pass on the game. You cannot bet Michigan. They are horrible. 10.5 rivalry game. They got enough talent, man. I know the Rutgers game was ugly, but that was a good situational spot for Rutgers. Ohio State, man. Is Ohio State really going to flip a switch on this level? Can they really be this night and day from what they were just from a coaching change? I'm taking 10.5 with Michigan. This is a 6-7 point win for Ohio State. Murray State, Indiana State. Indiana State is getting the dub. 13.5. Feels kind of like that Colorado State game from yesterday. A good team at home, taking care of business. I don't know if they can get to 13.5. That's getting up there pretty good. Murray State. They got enough balls to cover 13.5. I got to lean Indiana State at home. It's just a toss-up. Do they really want to go that hard, or are they totally content with a 10-point win? Murray State gets a little, backdoor cover or something. Maybe look at the first half. Evansville, Belmont. I actually don't have an opinion on this because these are two teams I'm just so unfamiliar with that anything I say about this particular game is not even worth you hearing. I don't even want to try to take a guess at this one. This is one I truly don't know, so I'm not going to give an opinion. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. I will tell you, as far as the money is showing Belmont's the right side. The breakdown currently is 64% of bets on Belmont, but 86% of the money. So the sharps are on Belmont early. UAB, Memphis. UAB is just a coin flip team. What are we going to get out of them? And Memphis, they're on a little bit of a roll here. I don't want to go against Memphis again. I tried going against them with a home team, with East Carolina at home, catching some points. Thought that was a decent spot, especially off Memphis being off that big emotional, impressive win over Florida Atlantic. But here at home, this team's rocking and rolling right now, and UAB is a team that's either going to get blasted or they might win this game outright. I don't want to take a stab at who's going to show up for UAB. I think I have a pretty good idea after the last few games of who's going to show up for Memphis. I like Memphis here at 7.5. It's a little bit risky. Maybe look at a first half bet or a double result, something like that for Memphis. Rutgers, Nebraska, 7.5-point spread. Rutgers, this is classic, man. It's just the same thing. You fade Nebraska on the road, you bet them at home. Rutgers off of a big impressive win over Michigan. It was Michigan. Congrats. On your home court, you beat the crap out of a bad Michigan team who had a horrible shooting night on top of it. That's bad, man. Rutgers is going to be walking in there all fat and satisfied and feeling good about themselves. I think Nebraska can get after it here. If Rutgers isn't ready to play in this game, they're going to get blasted. At 7.5, boy, this is getting up into the danger zone. I'm still going to go with Nebraska here at home to cover the number. And at 9 o'clock, Stanford to Colorado. You got to look Colorado here. You got to look Colorado. I think Colorado is looking for style points, much better team. They only have 1 loss this year at home. It was Arizona. That's fine, man. No problem. You want to lose to Arizona home? We can understand that. Stanford, live and die by the 3. Colorado's defense is pretty good. If Stanford can't get that shooting going, they're going to get blasted here. And I don't think 12.5 is enough to save them. I'm going to lean Colorado to cover the number here at home. But 12.5 is a lot. Any conference game in March, you never know when you're messing with a spread of 12.5. That's a lot of points. But there's no doubt Colorado is significantly better. They're at home. They got the mojo going right now. Stanford doesn't. Yeah, give me Colorado in this spot. It's just it's a pretty hefty spread. So those are Sunday games. Let's go ahead and give me a second. I'll put a pick on the whiteboard for you guys, see if we can get back on track here. All right. I think I know what we're going with. At the end of the day, we have a significantly better team at home with a coach that usually commands pretty good discipline. It's a huge number, guys. This is a huge number. But at the end of the day, I think this team is going for more. I think they're going to be focused, dialed in, wanting to perfect even the small things. I'm going to believe in their coach to keep the foot on the gas and keep the players focused. I think we have a winning pick here. Going to buy that hook off the 14. Go with UConn minus 14 at home. See if they can get that done. See if we can get back on track with another winner on the white. But wow, I wrote that terribly. God dang, guys, what games on Sunday do you like best? We don't have a huge slate. It's not the best thing. I do already have a pick posted for members. So if you're interested in becoming a member, you'll have immediate access to that play right now. It's up there. So something to consider. But hey, hopefully everybody has a good Sunday. I hope each and every one of you guys win every single wager you place today. But we all know that's pretty unlikely. I'll see you in the next video.